Hello, this is John. Today I'm going to make a video which is going to take away a lot of your anxiety about math. It's going to show you a very simple method that you can use to finally overcome your math anxiety. And really think about it, what is math anxiety? Is that even a real thing? People have anxiety about writing or reading. No, so math is a natural thing. But the thing about it is we do it in an unnatural way. Now, the videos that you've seen before or should see are talking about making things very simplistic. And so I'm always trying to find ways to really just bring it to you in a way which is easy for you to understand. So today I think I have something very special for you. This is going to show you how to look at math in a natural way and to be able to solve math problems from now on. Okay. First thing we're going to understand is that when you do math, you have to understand it is a natural thing. You have to look at it in a natural way. So for example, when I spell my name John. I don't start with the N and go to the J. So therefore, if I'm going to teach someone to do math, I'm going to teach it to you in a natural order. Okay? So math should always, when you're doing it in your mind, go from the right, okay, excuse me, from the left side to the right. Okay? I'm using it's backwards for the tape here, but it's going from your left side to the right that way, okay? Not going backwards. So let's use an example. If I were to ask you what is the answer to this question here, 13 plus 13, okay, you would look at it and say, well, it's 26, right? Because you do your columns, okay? Now, some people start from the right side, but if you look at it, you can just naturally look at it and see that it is 26. That's the answer. So now I'm going to show you something else. This is how you clear your mind up for math. This is the exact same numbers, okay? But the answer here is not going to be 26. That's a secret. Now, when you look at numbers, each number should be placed in the mind, in the imagination, in a way that you can actually deal with it, okay? So if you were to look at the number 13 and 13, so again, because of the camera, on your left side, you will see a 13, and then on the right side, you will see a 13. And so what you have to do is you have to mentally add one number to the 13. Now, let me show you. The number we're going to look at, again, there are two numbers. On the left side is a 13, and on the right side, there's a 13. But again, the answer is not going to be 26. What you're going to do is you're going to add not the entire 13 to the 13 on the other side. You're only going to add one number. You're going to add the 1 or the tens portion to the 13. Okay? Now, of course, that's very easy. If you take 13 and add 1 is 14. Okay? What that means is this last number here, okay, the last 3, it doesn't change. It's not affected by the turnover, by changeover. So you have a 1, a 3, a 1, and a 3. You add the 1 to the 3, and that becomes a 4. So your new number is going to be 1, 4, 3. 1, 4, 3, okay? And again, not to write it out, you can do it yourself, but you can see it mentally. It's 143, and that's your new number. Now, by doing that, you're going to be able to have a sense of how numbers flow in real time, in reality. Okay? So, again, think for a second, because people, what happens is they want to make things harder than they need to be. Not hard. It's not difficult. It's pretty easy. So, again, so you have a 13 here, a 13 here. You put the middle numbers together, that becomes a 4. So you have a 1, a 4, and a 3. That's the answer. That's how it works. Now, how does that help you with math? To understand that when you do math, all math is about pairs. Okay. Now we know our times tables, and our times table teaches how to look at the effects of numbers. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So, for example, if we go 7 times 2, we know it's 14. 8 times 8 is 64. 9 times 7, that's going to be 63. We know our times tables, but to me it's not really about knowing the times tables. It's about knowing how to manipulate a number to get the result based on a one-by-one comparison or equation. Okay? So if you don't know how to do one-by-ones from 1 to 9, then you need to stop the tape and then go and practice that. But I will assume you know that. Okay? So there should be no number that you can't multiply in a one-by-one scenario. Anything. If I say 7 times 2, 7 times 9, 9 times 8, 5 times 4, 6 times 6, 8 times 7, doesn't make a difference. You should be able to do that. Okay? So what happens is, let me see if I can write this out for you. You have to find something to write. Be prepared for I make the video. Let me just use this here. Okay. This kind of just came up. I didn't prepare this. But what I'll do is I'll take this pad here and I'll make a couple of examples. Okay. So I'm going to write out 7, 2, and 41. Okay. So you have that. You've got 7, 2, and 41. It's the exact same thing. Okay. Now, if you notice, on the left side, you have the 7, 2, and then you have the 4 and the 1. So you only have to add the 4 to the 72. Okay. So knowing that 7 and 2 and 4 and 1 make 7, 6, 1. Okay. So we'll just have that. Okay. Here's what happens. Okay. The numbers in the middle are put together. And if you notice that the number 72 is, and then you add the 4, it doesn't go over base 10. It doesn't go into the 80s. So the number will still remain in the 7s. But now it's just going to be 7, 6, 1. That's the answer. Now, what would that mean? What would that mean to you? Well, some numbers equal these when you're doing big calculation, but let's use something that's a little bit smaller, okay? So let's say, for example, you were doing, let's say, I always ask this question to people. I say, what number between 1 and 9 would you have a hard time multiplying by? People always say, we usually say either 9 or 8, so we use that. So if I write down 8 times 4, we know it's 32, okay? So we know that. We know that 8 times 4 is 32. And if I say, what is 8 times 7, we know that is 56. Okay? So we know it's 56. But now, the question I'm asking you is, what is 8 times 47? Okay? That's a question mark. So, what is 8 times 47? You say, I don't know. I got to think about it. Well, what you did was, you took a 32 and a 56, and they're side by side. You see that? 32 and 56. And that's exactly what you have to do. That's why you practice it first. So 32 and 56. And of course, what's the answer? You take the 5, which is the tens, and add it to the 32. Okay? So, of course, that would be 37. Got 37. And what's left over is that 6. The 6 is still there. You simply attach it to the answer. So now the answer to, the answer to 8 times 47 is, there it is, okay? 376. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. It's as simple as that. Now, I could spend the next hour and a half giving you examples of pairs, and so you can practice and get excited. What happens is, with adults, we tend to say this. If I give you something which is like new and really going to change your life, people say, well, I'm going to go and research that. I'm going to Google that. I'm going to research them and ask my friends who don't know, see if that's right, get their opinion, and then I might try it. And the day never comes, and then you're back to square one. You can't do it. No, I've given you a formula. I've given you a system. I've given you a method that you've wanted all your life. Okay? So that when you see numbers, you can figure them out. And you can watch my other videos to see how you can do 2 by 2s. But the point is, just by practicing your 1s, your 1 by 1s, and then you can do it a 1 by 2 or a 1 by 3 or anything that's natural. You don't want to go into something that's too, too flamboyant, too unrealistic. Because in your life, people don't all come to you and say, well, I have something and it's going to be 1,800 times 19,416. That's why you have calculators, okay? But for you to be able to think mathematically, just so if someone gives you an equation, if someone says to you, okay, let me get 18 of those at $8 each, you can figure it out, okay? Just by doing the pairs. So you go 80, and then you go 56 or 52 or 91. To make a difference what the equation is, but if you were doing 8 times 18, you would go 80 and 64. Put those numbers together, okay? And again, it's not that hard, okay? Again, it's not the important thing to worry about. The thing is, I want you to be able to see numbers in a natural way, in a natural order. And so it's so important that we don't get ourselves, flustered and like that. Now, when it comes to math anxiety, I think it's because, like, if I'm being filmed, say, well, if I make a mistake, how would that look? So you get nervous. It's like parallel parking. I don't like parallel parking because if I make a mistake, I get nervous, but I can do it very well. Or sing in public or anything. It's okay if you make a mistake. You can always go back and correct it. But by using logic, you know what you're doing. And that's the important thing. Okay. So that's what I will give you for today. To go out there and just look at the pairs. Okay. And the thing about it is, let me show you one more example here, just to clarify what may be coming up in your mind as a question. Let's say you had something like 72 and 81. Okay. So you got 72 and 81. You see that? Okay. Well, what's the answer? Well, of course, you know that 8 and 2 goes into 10. So therefore, 72 and 8 is 80. So the answer would be 80 and then a 1. And that's your answer right there. 801. Okay? So you always have to look at, the only thing you really have to do is add one number to two numbers. So if it's less than 10, it will just affect it below 10. It won't jump into the next phase. But if it's more than 10, it'll just take it to the next phase. So let's say again we were doing 72 and 31, it will just make that into a 5 and then a 1. But because it's 8, it takes it into the 80 and it's 1 left over. It's very, very simple. And another thing I want you to always remember, with anything you do, always go back and read it again. Or go back and look at it again. So when you read a book and get new information, go back and read that chapter again. And when you watch a video, always watch the video at least twice. People tend to judge things too quickly. They put like and or dislike and whatever it is too soon. Make sure it works. Then come back and thank me or thank whoever you're watching by putting a like and a comment because you got something out of it. Okay? So that's it. There's no more to say. Problem solved. You now have the ability to do any math you want by underlining the thought in your mind that you have to work with pair products. That's rule number 1. It's the golden rule. Pairs. And I'll make more videos to show you how even when you have larger numbers, you still have to bring them together in pairs, and then do this small little, you know, addition to get the answer. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe, comment, share, and again, watch it more than once. So important. Until next time, you have a great day, and goodbye.